Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to be taking a look at Visible, which is a wireless phone service. It's a budget phone service based off of Verizon's towers. In fact, it's actually owned by Verizon. I made a review about Visible a few years ago on one of my other channels, and it just blew up. So I'm going to try and include all the information that everybody was wondering about in that previous review as well. And we're also going to be comparing it against Verizon themselves. In this video, we're going to be testing Verizon's Unlimited Ultimate plan, which is their absolute top tier plan, against Visible Plus and Visible Basic plans. Visible did not sponsor this video, and they did not give me the service for free. I paid for it with my own money for the last year and a half. I'm going to leave my affiliate link in the description below. If this video helps you in deciding to purchase this service, I would greatly appreciate if you sign up through that link. It does support the channel and help fund future videos just like this one. It does get a little bit expensive having 3 phone plans to compare against each other, especially when one of them is Verizon. Now, I know most of you guys are just here for the speed test, so we'll go ahead and do that first. For these speed tests, I'm using the same device for both services. It's an iPhone 15 Pro Max. We're using it outside within line of sight of the tower, so these are going to be best case scenarios. So first up, we have Verizon on the 5G ultra wideband frequency. They tested at 253 megabits per second down and 18 megabits per second up. Now for Visible on the 5G ultra wideband frequency, they tested at 168 down and 16 megabits per second up. Both very impressive speeds. There is a pretty big difference between the two, but over 100 megabits per second, you're going to be smooth sailing on your phone, regardless of the difference there. Moving on to the 5G low band frequency, this is going to be more along the lines of 4G LTE and long range 5G. Testing Verizon's 5G low band first, we have 128 megabits per second down and 8 megabits per second up. And Visible on the premium data comes in at 117 megabits per second down and 7 megabits per second up. So there's really not a whole lot of difference here. It's a very slim margin between the two. I would pretty much consider that to be the same speed within the margin of error. Now, I also tested Visible on their deprioritized speed. This is going to apply for the basic plan as well as the premium plan once you run out of that 50 gigabytes of premium data. That tested at 90 megabits per second down and 4 megabits per second up, which is still going to be plenty adequate for a majority of people. As far as setting up the Visible wireless service on your phone, this was an extremely straightforward, very simple process. It literally only took me a few minutes, and I would trust my grandma to set it up on her own phone. It's exceptionally easy if your device supports eSIM, so that's going to be all iPhones 10s or 10R or newer, some Android phones after 2018, and a majority of Android phones after 2023. Visible has 2 plans. They have the basic plan and the Visible Plus plan. The Visible Basic plan is $25 per month, and the Visible Plus plan is $45 per month. And here's the difference between the two. The $25 plan includes unlimited data on 4G and 5G low band, so that does include unlimited hotspot. The hotspot is limited to 5 megabits per second, but it is truly unlimited data. This is how much hotspot I've used this month, and I have not noticed any significant difference in the performance. You do also have connection protection, so if you lose your job or if you get laid off, they will cover your phone bill for up to 3 months while you look for another job. And I'm unclear whether they just straight up cover it for you or if you have to repay it back. I imagine you probably have to repay it back eventually. But I could not find any clarification on that, so I'm not 100% sure. The $45 a month plan includes all the same things, plus it also includes 50 gigabytes of premium data, and after that 50 gigabytes, it is deprioritized. Now, there's a difference between throttled and deprioritized. Throttled means that they just set your speed at a specific speed, and with most carriers, that's going to be 600 kilobits per second or 1.5 megabits per second, both of which are atrociously slow for any cell phone, and it'll make doing anything on the web or with apps very slow and very challenging. Visible is different from most carriers in this regard in that they deprioritize you instead of throttling you. So you still have access to that full speed, and most of the time it's going to be very quick, and it's still going to be very sufficient for most of what you're going to be doing on your phone. But if there's a lot of people hitting the tower at the same time, for example, at a sporting event or a concert or something like that where there's literally thousands of devices connected to the same tower, those people are going to be served the high speed before you are. So in those specific instances, you might notice that your internet is very slow or very laggy. Now, in my personal experience, I have not noticed that at all. I've had good coverage and good performance pretty much everywhere I go. I do work a lot of concerts, and I have noticed that it does get a little bit slower during the concerts, but it's not so painfully slow, such as when a company throttles you to 600 kilobits per second. Sorry, we kind of went on that little rabbit trail there, but we're going to get back to the point. We were talking about what else is included in the $45 Visible Plus plan. So, with the Visible Plus plan, you also get access to 5G ultra wideband, which you do not get access to with the Visible Basic service. So, if you have 50 gigabytes of premium data and you use 150 gigabytes on your ultra wideband service, it does not count at all towards that 50 gigabytes, which I think is really cool. The mobile hotspot is also truly unlimited, and it is throttled to 10 megabits per second instead of the 5 megabits per second, so it's double the speed of the basic plan. And you also get a free smartwatch line if you have a smartwatch. So, my last review of Visible on my other channel, I said nothing but good things about Visible, and I would say that I still am very impressed with their service. It is an extremely good service, and it's worked extremely well for me. I would highly recommend it to anybody who asks, but a lot of people did bring up that their customer service is not the best. In fact, a lot of people had some very strong things to say about their customer service, so I decided to give that a try in this review. So what I did to test their customer service is I tried porting my number in from a different carrier to Visible, and what I did was I just set one number off from the account number, which will cause the port to fail. It's a pretty simple thing that most people should be able to figure out pretty quickly if they know what they're talking about. And wow, let me tell you, the comments were correct. The customer service is atrocious. So customer service was working on this problem for 3 hours, and they didn't even come close to figuring out what the problem was. So finally, I kind of started, helping them out, giving them some hints and walking them through it. And with me helping them, they finally figured out what the problem was. Once they finally figured out what the problem was, it took another hour and a half to finally fix it. And that means that we were on the phone with them for a total of 4.5 hours, which I think is completely unacceptable for the problem. They should have been able to identify that problem immediately and had it fixed within an hour. When I was on the phone with them, I could tell that they were at a universal call center. I was hearing some chatter in the background from other companies as well. So I think they use a call center and a customer support service that supports other companies as well, like, Best Buy and Kohl's and, just a very generic call center. Overall, I would say that their customer service was a 1 out of 10 experience. I for sure agree with the comments that their customer service was terrible. However, I have not had any issues with Visible. I've never had to contact their customer service. This was a situation that I intentionally put myself in just to test it. So I would say that with the reliability of Visible, hopefully that's not something that you ever have to deal with. Overall, I highly recommend Visible cell phone service. It's been reliable, it's been fast, it's been perfect for what I need. I consider myself a heavy user, and even I say that it is a really, really good deal and performs very, very well. Yes, their customer service is awful and it could use a whole lot of improvement, but hopefully they take my feedback and other reviewers' feedback on that and improve it in the future. But like I said, I've never had to contact their customer support. It's just worked great for me. So I would still consider this to be a very good deal. If this video helped you out, drop a like down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more unbiased product reviews just like this one. Don't forget to sign up for Visible using my link down below to help support the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.